Squat down here. Hello, welcome to the Kung Fu Corner. I am Instructor Carlo. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. I welcome you all. I'm going to put the mic down. So today we're going to cover, why not, the eagle claw form, the first form in its entirety. And so I just want to welcome you here. Thank you for showing up. It's about showing up. It's not about being perfect. It's about doing your best. It's about being your best. It's about doing what's right for yourself and your family and your community and your dreams and wherever a peaceful guide leads you to. So give me one second. Well, let's go ahead and warm up. If you need something, there's a couple tools you can always utilize here, right? We use the stretch resistance bands, right? These can help you as well to develop the strength. Punch through, all right? So let's go ahead and just warm up. Warm up is just not punches, right? We're implementing principles. With the feet. You fight like this, right? You can't always protect yourself. You gotta strike and defend, right? The guy who fights like this, I'm good. Have a little fun. It's the first, right? Normal stance. I like this because it has the hook, so you can practice hooking your opponent. I'm here, I'm gonna put my hook up close, right? Hook. I don't want to break this. It's not made to hook and pull, right? But once again, you can practice speed. Hook, right? Let's say you don't want them to leave. Stay with me, right? Okay. Front kicks can be very powerful. Here, this is sand, remember. Can't move this, it's hard to move, so if you move, punching stand, putting force behind it. I want to work on my chain punches. Okay, so nice warm up. Nice way to get into the new year. I know we have a lot of things going on. Maybe you went out, you had a little too much of the woo-woo. Time to wake up, right? Having fun, all good. Let's go. And maybe it's not going in your favor. That's okay. Show up. Let's turn that energy around. That's what we're here for. Feels good to hit the bag. Feels good to just come out here, right? The forms are one thing, hitting the bag's another. Right? Getting out there is another. Feeling the other energy is another. Showing up is another. All those things. Let's contribute. Let's start this year off great. Okay. So, we grab a towel here. There's a sweat rag here. Other tools you can use in this class, right? We're going to be using the rock more, right? We're training our eagle claw, right? Adds to the dynamic. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Right? Working that claw, that grip, that eagle claw grip here. Again. Using our grip, come here. Come on. All right, making sure your back's straight. Just getting a feel for it. Because on objects, you have to move your fingers around. 1, 2. See which hand that is strong on my left, so I'm going to be working on that. Right? 3. All you want to do is just try to lift it about an inch. If you can lift it more, that's great. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Give yourself a time limit. 9, 10. Get those fingers warmed up. Those fingers warmed up. Okay. Let's go ahead and hop into the form. Okay. Gotta make sure. It's okay to sweat, right? But when you're on camera, kind of affects you when you're talking, you know. Right, okay. Our eagle claw form. Right, in our posture. In our form, we're starting off with our fists to the hips. Done other videos on one video on why we punch from the hip, right, or why we start off this way. There's a couple other components I didn't mention. Also, it really does help to open up the chest, right? It really does help to open up the chest, the diaphragm, and help with the respiration process with inhalation and exhalation. That's another benefit, as well as being able to train the muscles and getting you to think from striking from this area here. Okay, so once again, we're here. Or horse stance punch. Trying to keep our posture. You have a mirror you can utilize. You can also look at your feet to make sure everything's straight. Both stance punch. We half step. And since we're starting on our facing with our left forward, left goes behind the right, and we pull, and we're here into our stance. From here, we step forward. Okay, so I'm here, I'm gonna step forward and I'm gonna come down, fist, the arms at about a 45-degree angle. It's very important to keep the back straight here. So you wanna practice just standing in this position and then just sinking down. Then we punch and then we uppercut. We come back up. Okay, once more, we're here, horse stance punch, bow stance punch, I half step, I break, their grab, I'm here. Okay, because of space issues, I'm gonna back it up here. I'm here, I step, I come down, here, I punch, I uppercut. Okay? Other side, try to do it this way. It's good for the left is, what's good for the right is good for the left. I come here, I punch, trying to keep that back straight. Here, keeping everything relaxed. I step, I grab, I come down, punch, uppercut. I want to correct that. I grab and then I step. There's a grab, there's a step, you come down with the arm, you punch. Okay. Now, first thing that comes to mind is, you know, a lot of those questions. Can't use that in a fight. That's not how it's going to turn out. Yep. Okay. One, there's many different components to this form. You don't have to utilize a form exactly the way it's demonstrated, right? A lot of it is to showcase the power and the body structure, right? And you can break it up. So, broken this portion up, we've broken up the horse stance punch, bow stance punch, and with this first form, it's a press strike. So we press our opponent down, right? I'll show that in future videos, but then today we're going to examine this strike, this backhand here. It's interesting because when you punch, a punch comes from the body and excels out. Your opponent here. Okay, same thing here. Here, right? Here. Okay. With this strike, it's a whipping motion. And Sifu Bruce speaks about this ball and chain whip type strike in his book, right? This is the reason why I think you don't want to limit yourself in terms of certain sports or, what's good for a certain sport is you want to, you train for that, right? But don't limit yourself to just that thinking. Maybe there's some other concepts that you can integrate, which will help you, right? So basic strikes here, we have our punches, even our palms. We have our palm strikes here, and here we examine the lap. Okay, so is it going to be something that's going to be 100% knockout? You can use it, blah, 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 blah. We practice it, right? Lots of times people do get knocked out with backhands, and it's a good form of self-defense. Here we're about self-defense, right? The competition, yes, definitely use it, right? And I like to help individuals in that aspect. But primarily, I like to focus on things that are going to help people in situations, right? I don't talk about, I don't want to talk on that level, right? About pins and things like that, or that kind of protection. That's for a different, we don't focus on that here. I'm not saying that you shouldn't train in that area, using weapons and things like that, but that's not my area of expertise. I don't go into that area, right? I focus on what I know and what I teach, and you know, it's part of the complete circle. Okay, so with that, let's go ahead and examine the strike. It's good. You can use the back to practice grabbing, strike, grabbing, strike, grabbing, strike, grabbing, strike. Other hand, grabbing, strike, grabbing, strike, grabbing, strike. Okay? So, with that, you want to definitely practice so you can get a feeling, right? So sometimes things do happen. Okay, that's why we're filming this. Okay? Also, you know, one thing with YouTube or any other platform, you can erase and you can cut out the things and, you know, polish it. And I do try to make sure my videos look great and try to do the best I can. Right? But also, you know, there's that realistic aspect that we're just recording on the fly and as if we're having a real class, you know, things are going to happen, right? So I was trying to make sure when I'm here, I'm prepared mentally and all that. So once again, let's go to the form. You can never practice the form too much. We're here, forward stance punch, both stance punch, and we get into our stance here. We grab, we come down, we punch, and we uppercut. Okay. There's a couple variations. There's a couple important aspects in this form that you want to consider. When we grab, the hand needs to come all the way back to the hip. Okay. There's a reason we do this, right? Because you need to throw your opponent off, right? When we grab, and when we come down, the hand that grabs comes all the way down to the hip, and we strike with our other hand, right? You might want to have the tendency, and this is why I'm working on my form and my posture, you might want to have the tendency to lean forward in this, right? As if you get your opponent down and then you lean forward in order to subdue them, okay? And that will lead to your opponent escaping. There's ways to escape this and utilize this. All right, we're utilizing this portion of our arm as a hold. Right, and I'll go ahead and demonstrate that in future videos. However, just looking and understanding this aspect of there's a lot of alignment that needs to happen in terms of understanding body structure. That's why we have to go down, because the weight has to go down, and when you have the weight down against your entire body weight against one person's arm is, you know, there's no match, right? There's different martial arts styles that utilize that idea. Your body, right, is going to be stronger against one person's limb. And that's the concept here. So you have strikes, you have punches, you have uppercuts. It all ties in together. You can practice it separately from here, 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 right? And delivering a strike from this position, right? 1, 2. 1, 2. Right? 2. To still deliver power. So, you know, what are some things we can practice at home? Once again, if you're training, what I tell students, you know, one, you have to have live training. Okay, these videos are not for anyone who's just, if you're new to the form, you can use it for educational purposes and learn and things like that. It's not to be your first lesson. Your first lesson should be with a live instructor, and you should learn. And if you're training under someone, right, you can utilize these videos that, you know, to see, test principles, see if what I'm talking about is factual or has some legitimacy. That's okay. And you do what works best for your self-defense, and if you're working with, well, you should be working with someone who's qualified and professional, and what works best under your training program. Okay, so, but just being able to see and I learned too, right? I've had a student, I learned how to get out of this move from a student, and you know, there's, just like you learn the lock, you learn the escape, and it all works out, right? But once again, With this eagle claw, there's a lot of the chin knob, the locking, getting your opponent off balance. Once they're off balance, you can utilize your body weight to subdue your opponent. Okay, so go ahead and feel free, follow us, subscribe, like, all that fun stuff. Keep up to date. We're going to be pushing it throughout the new year. I hope you enjoyed this. This is a great first lesson to start off, and there's more to come. Have a great day.